It is time now for our Life and Info segment, where we take a look at all the useful information out there that could potentially help you with your daily life and goings on. Today we're going to be checking out some changes that will take effect in South Korea's labour sector later this year. So this should come in helpful if you work in South Korea. I'm glad to say for more, we have our Yoon Jung-min joining us in this studio. Jung-min, good morning. And what kind of changes to the labour conditions for workers can we expect in South Korea for the remainder of this year?
Well, morning, Mark. Like you said, there are some changes that are taking place for companies and workers in South Korea in the second half of 2019. Well, so first, from July, more industries were included in the mandatory 52-hour maximum work week system. So 21 industries had been granted a one-year grace period, but now all of them have to abide by the rule. So as you can see there, 21 industries, including broadcasters, financial services, bus service, accommodation, and postal service, now can't force workers to work excessive hours. But some are raising doubts about whether these industries can strictly observe the law due to their notoriously long work hours. If they violate the law first, they will be given a chance to fix the violation. If they don't take the heat, company owners could potentially face up to 2 years in prison or be fined by up to $17,000 US. The law now additionally affects more than 1,000 companies and over 1 million workers in those industries.
Okay, so I'm just working out the math in my head. 52-hour work week means if you work a 5-day work week, around 10 hours a day. Not much more than that. If you work 6 hours, 6 days a week, probably more like 8 or 9 per day. So it's good, and plus it's about getting the balance right between your life and your work, so you can spend time with your family instead of just working all the time. But this is really affecting a lot of companies. It's a new policy by the Moon Jae-in administration. We hope it works out. Are there any other changes we should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, sure, there are. From this October, more people who lost their jobs will get higher unemployment allowance. So according to this revised Employment Insurance Act, the allowance will be raised to 60% of the average wage from 50%. Also, the revision raises the payment period by 30 days. Now, people can be paid by up to 270 days. That's around 9 months. Part-time workers who work fewer than 15 hours or 2 days a week used to be unable to receive the allowance when they lost their jobs, but now they can get benefits from the government if they have worked more than 180 days during past 2 years. Aside from that, from July, parental allowance is now given to freelance female workers and self-employed women if they have a baby.
Well, hopefully this can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, really. Hopefully raise South Korea's chronically low birth rate that doesn't seem to want to budge from around 1 per woman, and also give these working women a helping hand as well. So that would be nice. So also we have some good news for people who might be going through a bit of misery because of a co-worker or co-workers in the office, because a new anti-bullying law specifically in regards to companies is coming into place. It's prohibiting any kind of bullying in companies.
Well, yes, you're right. A new law came into effect last month to prevent harassment in the workplace. So now company owners have the duty to prevent and stop bullying among workers, because employees can officially file a complaint if they have experienced bullying. So, if workers incur physical or mental suffering to other employees using their superior status or power, they can be reported to the company's owners. Once the case is reported, employers must immediately launch an investigation and take proper action, such as separating victims from perpetrators in the workplace. If they fail to follow the rule, they may face a prison term of up to 3 years or be fined by up to $25,000. But the law also has loopholes. If employers are the ones causing the problem, it would be difficult for employees to report the case to them.
Okay, well, maybe that is next in line for how they're going to reform the labor sector here
Probably,
in
yes.
South Korea, because you need to have a different route to go through if that's your kind of situation with your actual employer causing the problems there. And it's good to see that the South Korean government is really focusing hard on this, because a lot of critics would say that the country needed to be brought up to speed with the rest of the world in terms of protecting the people who work for a living and pay taxes. Jung-min, as always, it was a pleasure having you, and thank you for your report.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you.